What's up, summoners? King Blair here. Today, we're gonna be taking a look at some units that before used to be kind of trash tier, like people barely even touch these units, to units that now are actually like either really good in the meta, like the top 5 units that they buffed, basically, that are actually very relevant today, even to today. So first, we're gonna be taking a look at our number 5. So our number 5, nothing too impressive, but it's definitely something that was very needed. And it was to the Succubuses. So we go to the Succubus over here. So now, like, especially like one like Akia and all of them. So before they used to have these skills where like, yes, the first one had this skill has always been the same. This one is completely different. It used to not stun. It used to just basically be you used it and it got unrecoverable. It was basically the same as this one. They added this, like they added this part that says attack without waking the enemy under sleep. That's what pushed them from like units that you usually would feed. The fire one is just fusion food. The wind one was basically garbage, where like it had absolutely no like use. And the dark one was also like, for a dark 4-star, it was like, why even have this unit? Like now they're not super good, but they can pair up with some teams and make them really strong. Like if you have a Hathor, for example, if you have a Hathor, you could use one of these and just completely obliterate the enemy, and they will never wake up because of that one thing they added, where attacking the enemy while in their sleep will not wake them up. That literally pushes units, that small change push them from being like garbage units to like you could actually use these, like they're actually usable. And that's what's so big, not because like they're broken or anything in the meta, but it's because they actually are usable now. You can actually build these and like enjoy them. They have a specific purpose. For our number 4, we're going to be taking a look. Most of these units on this list are actually not 5s that people were just very upset with. So for number 4 in particular is going to be the water and wind hell ladies. I know I'm doing 2 of these, but it's just like I'm kind of pairing them up because they are in the same family. So Beth. People were happy, people were upset, but overall, the buff to her was huge. She used to be a very niche unit. She used to be just like single target water nuker. People used to love her for Guild Wars, but that was all she was good for. And even then, there was units that probably did her job better. Then Comtuas was like, we're gonna buff them, probably because they're so sexy. But you know, I'm just saying. But look, they gave her 2 AoE skills, but not only that, these are good AoE skills. So like with Gouge, you can continuous damage, and it does more damage to continuous. So it's basically an AoE dot. I'm pretty sure I can check my Beth. I don't think it goes up to like 100%, but it's pretty high percentage where it will most likely do that. But it was the 3rd skill. This used to be only done on 1 unit, and it used to not destroy. Now you have a AoE destroy, and it's just like defense break, recovery. She has a niche now. She actually became a unit you could take to specific teams in both Guildworks and everywhere else. And even if they didn't have healers, the fact that she had an AoE like defense break, now you could pair her up with another nuker. So it gave you the possibility of running like double nuker cleave comp. So if you have like Saros, Galleon, Tiana, and now you could put Beth in there. And put Beth right before Galleon, so like just in case Saros or Galleon messes up, you could have Crumble or Eternal Scar. So it just made her so much better. And even the wind one, like I didn't know this, but capture is so strong. It's just so strong. Like the fact that you can remove buffs and stun the unit underneath is insane. And she does this now. Ethna used to be pretty much useless. She used to be the same as Beth. It was just like, why even use it? But now these 2 units you see them all the time now. A lot more in Guild Wars. You see them a lot more in real-time arena. You see her a lot more in arena. Like they became units that are actually like very viable. And even in like farming wise, Beth is probably one of the best fame on farming units because her cooldowns are so short on her skills. Like Gouge comes up, or not. I keep saying Gouge, but that's Asimo. Like, yeah, Gouge. It is Gouge. comes up every 2 turns, like once it's skilled up all the way. So basically, when she uses it, it's back up by the next wave. It's insane. You're always putting AoE. It's just crazy. It's insane how much AoE she does, how much dots she can apply, because it hits 2 times too. And if you put her on Despair, oh man, Despair Violent on her is usually what people go. But now we're going to be starting to look at some units that you guys are probably very familiar with. Even with the recent nerfs to these units, and they're both fire, you guys know who I'm going to be looking at. Even these 2 units completely changing the meta. It's kind of hard to put them separate because they both dominate everything, or used to. Like, even before the nerf, they used to dominate everything. Now they're still just amazing units, but they're not broken. They used to be kind of broken. So, Laika. If you guys didn't know this before, or if you wanted to know, Laika did not have this little... he did have the glancing, but he did not have the exceeds 35%. So now you have a nuker monster that before you could just pop with any water AoE, that now you have to take 3 hits to even kill. That's what pushed Laika to being so good. And the counterattack, he did not have this counterattack before. He just didn't. I think he just stunned the attacker or something like that. I'm not too sure on that one. But he didn't have this counterattack where he's going to be attacking your unit behind. He was just a fire one-shot unit, and it was kind of like underwhelming because it was just kind of like, okay, what does he really do? Like, yeah, he does tons of damage, but that's it. But now they gave him this, so it's almost like a Theomars where like they won't die. Like, they're nukers, you can build them nuki, like YOLO, and they won't die in one shot, which makes it insane because that shouldn't even be a mechanic. You should be able to kill like your squishy. But that buff and like pre-nerf hit, this skill also counter-attacked and would stun the targeted counterattack. So 50%, you're attacking Laika, your team's getting stunned up, you can't one-shot him, so he's gonna stun 3 people in your team. Even if you end up killing him, 3 units are probably going to be stunned because this procs all the time. It says 50%, but if y'all have gone against a Laika, it feels like it's 100%. Like, you just assume that Laika's going to counterattack. And Justice and everything, oh man. Like, this unit, I'm telling you guys, it used to be you would never see a Laika unless you really needed a fire nuker. Like a single target fire nuker, which is almost like never because most people ran like fire, like you never see like wind tanks. That's very rare, and even then it's like it didn't do anything. But that buff, guys, Laika became like everything you saw was Laika. But he wasn't the only one that was everywhere. We have the king of arena defenses himself at the time, Rockon. So Rockon, why I would say it was just insane is because Rockon was also insanely underwhelming. He was my first Nat 5 unit, and yes, he has this AoE attack on his first skill, but it's kind of like he wants to do damage with HP, like you want to build him tanky, but then he only got the skill like ever so often, and it was like you basically had a fire tank that was just there to soak up damage and wasn't really a threat to anyone. But when they added the passive on collapse, where now it provokes. First they added the provoke, and then they were like, okay, Rockon's he's getting some, like, people are starting to notice it. The provoke is nice. Like, it was definitely a step up. He was becoming stronger. Like, it actually made him a little bit more viable in defenses. But when they added the counterattack chance, the 30% chance, oh, Rockon became staple for arena defenses to go against Lucians. Because now, if he goes, it's like, if they build a squishy team, they're not going to be one-shotting Rockon. You build this guy on Vampire, insane. Like, this monster, even now, he's just, every time you see a Rockon, you just hope to God you can remove the immunity he probably has before he just collapses on your whole team and just wipes it out. It's amazing. I love my Rockon. It's probably one of my favorite units to use. It gets people every time. Even with Laika and Rockon overall does more damage, but it takes more setup because you have to have used collapse before. So he does take a little bit more setup than Laika. But he's still so much better at defending, like defense. For offense, definitely Laika because you have more control. But definitely for defense, Rockon. Alright, and number 1. number one most buffed unit, that it's the strongest unit, one of the strongest units everywhere. Y'all should always use it, Chandra. Chandra, guys, when they added this defend buff and he can counterattack who attacks, we already saw some counterattack busted. And yeah, this monster's the best monster in Summoner's War. And that's it for today. I'm just kidding, guys. Chandra is still garbage tier. He's getting up there. He has more uses now. But the number one unit that no one ever thought was going to be such an amazing unit was Sierra. So Sierra used to be one of the weakest oracles. In the face of her sisters, they were kind of like, yeah, she puts a bomb, but most people have immunity. Like back then, immunity was huge. And it was just kind of like, what's the point of having a bomb? Because before, she didn't have this passive where she instantly gains another turn. So you would build her violent and hope to whatever you had to like that she would proc, and if she didn't, it's not reliable. Like she wasn't a reliable unit to use. Like it's either put the bomb or explode the other bombs on your bomb team. She wasn't a big threat. Like people didn't see Sierra as like, oh, she's insane. Like she had this nice speed lead. So people just used it mainly for the speed lead and maybe to get this off. And maybe they had a bomber before her to like maybe use this. But the second they added this instantly gains another turn, you guys think that might be a very minor buff. But when you're guaranteed a turn after you land a bomb, you can take out any high priority target now. Because bombs go through anything. They go through defense. They're like true damage, so to say. And now it gave rise to the best arena offense to date. The arena offense that everyone needs to guard against somewhere or another but can't. The only reason why Samath and Pern are making a comeback is because of the bomber team you can use with Sierra, where you have Sierra, Tiana, another bomber, and an attack buffer. That team dominates arena offenses. I would even say, like higher up specifically. If you have those units, if you have a Sierra and you have a Tiana, all you need is someone that buffs the attack, and you have the strongest arena offense that exists, that you essentially have 0 to no counterplay unless they take a super aggressive speed lead like Samath and someone else, but then they're leaving themselves open for like a Saros. So it completely changed the meta, especially like Upper Conqueror and Guardian, where like not only do you have to worry about Lucians now, but you also have to have fast enough units. You can't just put tanks because you're just going to get bombed to oblivion. That's why this made her such a broken unit and made her so amazing. But that's it I'll have for today, guys. I know you may agree, disagree with my list. I know there's other people that got buffed, like the Amazons and stuff like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Peace.